All right, thank you. Yeah, sorry about the technical issues. Yeah, so my name is Kory. I'm the chief technologist with the iRODS consortium. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into this presentation. So to start out, just a little bit about the iRODS consortium. This is a paper slash virtual organization that is operated out of RENCI, which is the Renaissance Computing Institute. This is a research institute at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So there's no office, there's no building. We are all state employees who work on this data management platform. This graphic here is showing the people who pay to be members of the consortium. With that, they get some benefits such as support hours and they get to be a part of the conversation driving the software, right? Uh, Here, this group is made up of people doing science, integrators providing support and services, and then also storage vendors who are looking to sell into those locations. iRODS is now about 30 years old. Well, it's at least 30 years old. And so we've had partners and users in many different domains. As you can see here on this slide, everywhere from medical to manufacturing and physics, and you name it, iRODS has probably had a footprint there at some point in time. Our mission it has remained pretty much the same over the years. We believe that long-term data management is best executed when policies are clear and infrastructure is abstracted and swappable. And there's the reason for that is mostly because technologies change, and you need to be able to. We believe that being able to swap things in and out is very important for long-term data management needs. Because iRODS is a very old piece of software, you know, we have been, it started out as pretty much a science project, and now there's a dev team that's been around that's over the years has been built up to turn the software into enterprise level um, software so that people can use it to do things, right? And so part of that effort in the later years has been, we think the software is enterprise, is being used in many different places, but one of the things that we want to do is we want to move the software to being more normal and boring for administrators, and make it approachable to users who are not so familiar with the software, all while maintaining the ability to support fair data practices, enforce consistency, and realize cost savings. So for the people in the room who don't know what iRODS is, this is a open source data management platform. This is written in C++. It has it implements its own protocol for API interactions. It is completely free. You can go download it and use it today and never have to speak to me about it because it's BSD3 licensed. It runs practically anywhere. It can run in the cloud on a laptop, and it's fully distributed. So you can have machines all communicating and working together around the world for different reasons. All of this, the software itself, its primary goal is to provide flexibility around your infrastructure, right? That's to provide, insulate your users and data from the storage devices. Here's a graphic which shows where iRODS sits. On a high level, iRODS sits in between the users and the client side applications and your storage and compute and all of your infrastructure, right? And the reason for this is because this enables administrators to swap things, different technologies in and out over time. As we move into the future, right? Infrastructure changes, and so iRODS gives people flexibility in allowing them to swap things in and out without their users ever needing to know that anything's changed, right? They don't have to worry about, am I talking to S3 or tape or just hard disk drives. It doesn't matter. It is all hidden away from the user. Most people who come to us, they typically have one or more of these challenges, right? They have a lot of data that they want to that's stored across various different technologies, and they want to be able to wrangle that data so that it's more manageable. They might want to control access, provide some automation and orchestration, and they might want to do something like provide some kind of search facilities right around this data because it can be a lot. We are, as I mentioned, if we the graphics showing the members of the consortium, these are people who are doing research, commercial and governmental organizations, right? Uh, our largest user base is in Europe, and the reason for that is because of the strict data protection laws, right? They need to be able to control uh, their data, have full control over their data, right? They want to control access, they want to control where the data is moving, but while also being able to federate and collaborate with other organizations when needed, right? And as I mentioned, the design goal of iRODS is that, this is for long-term storage needs, right? So we're talking about in the hundreds of years uh, type of thing. iRODS provides a set of uh, packages that enable the things on this particular on this slide here, right? So we provide a unified namespace, but the main thing um, for about this slide here is that iRODS, these are things that we've listened to users within the community who have expressed challenges around things like publishing and integrity and storage sharing, right? And so we've through working with the community, we were able to build package solutions to these things so people can just install and configure rather than having to reinvent the wheel and think about solutions for the same problem over and over again, right? Not all of these things are prepackaged solutions. Some of these things are require more thought and customization to the organization, and but iRODS enables all of those types of things, right? So in the most recent years, we have been focused on, this is going back to the normal and boring um, goal, right? Making iRODS more predictable uh, and normal to people. And so what we've decided to do is we want to focus on what we do best. That is bookkeeping, abstracting storage, and enforcing policy. iRODS is very good at doing these things, right? This is part of our core building blocks. And so we want to spend our time focusing on making that the best possible set of features that capabilities that we can. We also want to continue to make iRODS be the glue between software, right? In various different softwares, right? iRODS is infrastructure level software, and so it helps to, it normally runs uh, in the background or it's hidden away so people don't even know that they're talking to an iRODS system. We also want to meet people where they are. I'm going to talk more about this shortly. And like with any other software, we always want to listen to our users and address any kind of pain points that they find with the software, right? So we're always listening to the community. And when there's something that we cannot, so when a out of the box solution that we provide does not meet a particular need, right? We want to enable the community to build their own custom solutions on top of the platform um, in case our tools do not fit quite right. Either because, we might provide too many options or there might not be enough options, right? The first example of this is I'm going to call this our improvements to are around authentication, right? So iRODS 4.3 has came out about 3 years ago, somewhere around 3 year mark, possibly even earlier. Um, but it introduced a brand new authentication plugin framework. And the whole idea behind this framework is that it would allow administrators and organizations to build dynamic authentication workflows, right, that fit their requirements. So this authentication framework was built through help with the community. We held working groups with several people who were interested in this, who found they needed something that allowed them to have express dynamic flows. And so out of that work, we got this framework, and that shipped in 4.3. And then the community, along with the consortium, we work together to build this PAM interactive authentication plugin, which is a single authentication plugin, which is built on this framework, and it allows people to take advantage of the PAM stack. Um, and so that means that with PAM, you already get Kerberos, you get OpenID, it opens up the world to different authentication schemes. And so we've seen a lot of success with that. And so that keeps us out of having to reinvent the wheel and think about authentication problems or um, things that people have already solved, right? Going back to meeting people where they are, we've been pushing this idea of protocol plumbing, which is all about uh, you know presenting iRODS as different protocols, right? Protocols don't move very much. Once they are stable, they tend to stay that way, and they don't they they don't move uh, frequently. And so being able to present as HTTP, S3, WebDAV, NFS, all of these things we found great success in doing that as well. In the graphic below, you'll see we have iRODS, which is the abstraction layer and the API for the iRODS system. And then on top of that, in the yellow boxes, we have client libraries implemented in different programming languages, C++, Java, Python, and Go. Some of these tools are maintained entirely by community members, such as the Go um, client libraries and the Kubernetes and Fuse and SFTP. Everything else is mostly us, but because iROS can present us these different protocols, it means that people who have existing scripts and tools that they've built up over time, they get to they don't even have to change their workflows. They just get to take advantage of the iROS infrastructure without ever knowing that this is even happening. So organizations, they still get to enforce all the policy and things that come along with iRODS. A bit about iRODS and HTTP is that we've been spending a lot of effort around making sure that we provide something that is cohesive for HTTP side of things, because HTTP has taken over the world, and you know it makes a lot of sense to offer an HTTP solution. And so this is our third attempt at building an HTTP API front end for iRODS, and I think we nailed it this time. So far, it's been received very well by the community. Um, but the goal behind this is mainly to provide a cohesive representation of the iRODS API, something that people dealing with C and C++ and various different programming languages, they tend to be sharper tools than what people actually need. And so this whole effort around HTTP is about making it easy for people to interact with an iRODS server. So this goes back to the approachable and accessible type of thing, right? So far, is on track to be absorbed to the server. So that means that future use, well, the HTTP API may eventually land and ship with the server out of the box. As for the future, we are hard at work working on iRODS 5. This is the next major release of the software, and this has been in the making for about 3 years now, probably likely even more than that. But with this is going to be a major push for us to be even more normal and predictable and boring, right? Like doing what people expect, right? And so we've revamped the process model and packaging and versioning and things to fit to be predictable and more deterministic. And so this means through this rewrite of the process model, we've now made it very easy to support cloud environments. iROS already runs in the cloud, but it was still, you had to know more than anybody wanted to make that work. But obviously, this also comes with improvements around you know metrics and tracking various information for dashboarding. And so we're hoping to have iROS 5 ready by our annual user group meeting, which is going to be in June of this year. Um, it will be in Durham at the baseball stadium. If any of the things that I've said today interest you, I'd love to hear them. Love to hear your questions. And for anybody who found any of this interesting and looking for collaborations and partnerships, we're open to those as well. I think that wraps up my talk. Thank you.